Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Rama Rava, Rama Rava, Rama Rava Shri Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki jai. Shri Shri Phalat Lakshmi Singhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody. We're speaking on Saturday from the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. On other days, on other weekdays, we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Purana, what is one of our main scriptures as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, beside Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is considered to be, like you can say, like the law book of human dharma. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is like the book where you apply the law, right? When they have a court case, the main source of judgment is, of course, the law book. But according to the law book, they have different cases that are recorded in books where they can trace back how the law was implemented, how the law was applied in different situations. And this is kind of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam we hear all about how it was in the previous ages or in the history of the universe. This science of Bhagavad Gita or Sanatana Dharma was applied by great devotees, like demigods and other sages. And then we have the Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, what for us is a very important book, because there we see how in modern days, down in Kali Yuga, where we write in here, different great devotees lived this science of bhakti yoga. And it's not just some whimsical stories, what we kind of like because it's entertaining or some kind of sentiment is triggered in us bhakti yoga yogis. No, it's because in different scriptures, like also the Srimad Bhagavatam, the main person in this Caitanya-caritāmṛta is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is predicted as the hidden incarnation, the hidden avatar. So therefore, we put so much emphasis on this, because our acharyas, our previous line of acharyas, of teachers of this sacred science of bhakti yoga, they pointed this out to us that from all of these three books, Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta is the most important, because Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta deals with the teachings of the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. And even if we lose these other two books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, with the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, we can all restore it back, because all the knowledge is contained there in the teachings and the lives of these great devotees. So that's for a little bit of our explanations. I know we have a mixed audience now. We have quite some Indian gentlemen and gentlewomen here. Hare Krishna, welcome. And for most of you who come here as visitors, the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sometimes not so familiar. Who heard already before from of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Hands up. From down. Okay. Mikro näher ranmachen. Can you hear me? Online, yeah. Yeah. So, what do you know about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Whoever raised the hand now. Now I put you on spot. Mataji, you know something? No? Most would say maybe it was a great saint. It was a great saint. We have in Jagannath Puri, probably all of you were in Jagannath Puri, right? There's a big on the cross. No, Jagannath Puri, the place of Lord Jagannath. It's just, Ratha Yatra is just going on. Today, Ratha Yatra, even in Berlin, is going on. Lord Jagannath is traveling from Puri to Sri Berlin Dam, the capital of Germany. And there he likes to be carried through the streets of Berlin. Who had thought about this? Our Srila Prabhupada. He made it possible. So in Jagannath Puri, there is a great statue on a crossroad. There's a great statue of a big personality raising his arms in the air. And this is a statue of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was famous because actually he brought a revolution. He brought a revolution. You thought maybe that Gandhi maybe brought a revolution to India, right? But actually 500 years ago, the revolution was already made. The revolution that it's not only the Brahmanas who can chant Vedic hymns, because even in Kali Yuga, even Brahmanas, they don't know how exactly chant all the Vedas with all the meters, with all the different melodies. It's not so potent even for the Brahmanas, or, they even cannot do this. But it's very easy in this age of Kali to make spiritual advancement, and this is just by calling out for the names of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was the one who actually made this open, who made this kind of a custom in all India that people gather together and just chant the holy names of the Lord in kind of bhajan, kind of kirtan. People assemble together and chant. From this branch actually of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many sub-branches came out. One of them, for example, is Saint Tukaram. Who heard of Tukaram before? No? Tukaram? Yeah, you heard. So he came from the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, many limes came. Even in South India, we have quite some influences of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where the Sri Vaishnava tradition is very prominent. Where are you all coming? You all come from the same area? You all come from South India. Are you all related with each other? You a family, but you also belong to this family. No, but you come from South. Okay. So even in South India, we have the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But even 500 years later, in the homeland of Sanat Dharma, or as we say, the only land where Sanat Dharma is to be found still today, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not so prominent yet. Therefore, we had A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada who traveled to the West. And now in India, everything what comes from West is quite important, right? India is listening, what the West is doing. So now in India is a big movement to make the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more prominent. And the more one goes into these teachings or study these teachings of Mahaprabhu, then one will understand, wow, that's really a revolution. Evolution, what happened actually, what came out of India and went now all around the world. And this revolution is not a sect. It's not even that somebody who, like us, Gauranga, that we become Hindus. Sometimes people think, wow, this Prabhupada, he was very good. He made so many white people into Hindus. But we're not Hindus. Actually, you're not Hindus. It's just what the English told you. And now you think, we are Hindus. No, you're following Sanatan Dharma. And that's actually, Sanatan Dharma is in all religion implemented. Because it's all about basically developing your relationship with the Supreme. There's also not a Hindu God, a Muslim God, a Christian God, Jewish God. It's all the same. It's all the same God. And he applies his teachings to different situations and different people with different understanding. So that's, I think, very important to make a little bit of summary of where we heading into when we read from the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And this is basically the teachings and the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there are many, many stories, of course, implemented, but that's only one thing. And in fact, there are more books who deal more with the lives or different stories about his life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, we have more kind of the philosophy and the teachings of Mahaprabhu. So we have now here, we in the Madhya-līlā, 19 to 20, right? 21, 19 to 20? Yes? Huh? 20, we start with verse 20, okay. Okay. And the composition is mostly in Bengali language in verse form, and we're gonna try verse 19. Huh? 20? I thought 19 and 20. So what now? 19 and 20. What is on the port? 20. Okay. So, but I'm supposed to speak about 19 and 20. Because in 20 we have a purport, therefore. Okay. So, verse 19 is Krishna Vatsaya Asankyatai Shukadeva Vani Krishna Sangekada Gopa Sankhya Nahi Jani. So, translation of this verse is, according to Sukadeva Goswami, Krishna had unlimited calves and cowherd boys with him. No one could count the actual number. So, Sukadeva Goswami is, of course, who knows who's Sukadeva Goswami? Why is pointed here Sukadeva Goswami out? Nobody knows? Yes, he spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to whom? To King Parikshit. Who is King Parikshit? Some of your Indian folks. King Parikshit, no? But you heard about King Yudhisthira, right? Yudhisthira. He was one of the 5 Pandavas. Oh? So 5 brothers. And Yudhisthira was was basically the great king who came out victorious out of what great epic literature? The Mahabharata, yeah. So the Mahabharata basically is all about, the story is all about King Parikshit, the Pandavas and their opponents, and the big fight where Bhagavad Gita then, as a crown jewel, was spoken. And then Maharaj Yudhishthira, he was installed on the throne, and then Maharaj Parikshit, he was the last heir of the Kuru dynasty. From whom was he the son? Somebody remember? Of Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu was the son of Arjun, yes. So Shukadeva Goswami, basically he was saved already in the belly of his mother. Somebody remember? Huh? The mother of Sukadeva Goswami? Of Maharaj Parikshit? And so he was saved already in her belly because Ashwatthama, who was Ashwatthama? Come on, some Mahabharata refreshment. Ashwatthama? Dronachary's son, yes. And he was surviving actually the battle, but he was so inflicted that the Pandavas won the battle that he thought, okay, I will destroy their race as well. As the Kuru dynasty is now destroyed, I will destroy their race as well. And the only person who will succeed is now in the belly of Uttara. So he threw a very powerful weapon. What weapon was this? Brahmastra. He threw it into the belly of Uttara. And Krishna himself wanted to save him because he had a bigger plan for Maharaj Parikshit. So he appeared into the belly and basically protect the embryo from this fierce Brahmastra. And so when Maharaj Parikshit basically appeared on earth, he was the last great saintly king who carried out the order or the teachings of the Mahabharata carried into the age of Kali Yuga. Basically, Srimad Bhagavatam starts there where the Mahabharata ends. And in this way, he became the main person in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because in one point, he was cursed. He was cursed to die. Why? Because he basically got a curse from a young Brahmana boy. And he said he will die in 7 days, Maharaj Parikshit. And because he was a saintly king, he thought, okay, I sit down on the banks of the Ganges and just invite all saintly people into my presence, and they should tell me what is the essence of life, what one should think in the last stages of life. What is human life meant for, basically? Because if you die, you should know why you were here, right? So he wanted to bring his human life to perfection, to really understand what is my purpose. What is my purpose in life? What is the purpose of human life? And in this way, he wanted to give a teaching to the rest of society, especially in Kali Yuga. So he invited all the great sages, and all the great sages, they came to Naimisharanya, this place where they gathered. No, they gathered actually on the banks of the Ganges. And then one great personality came, Shukadeva Goswami. And he was considered to be the most learned amongst all of the great sages, although he was quite young in this point. But he was actually the son of Vyasadeva. Yeah. So they understood Vyasadeva compiled all these literatures, and the essence of all these literatures is now in Shukadeva Goswami. So they all listened to him, in particular Maharaj Parikshit. So now here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he quotes Shukadeva Goswami in basically going into the stories of the 10th canto in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now the 10th canto in the Srimad Bhagavatam is almost the last, the crown of the Srimad Bhagavatam is the 10th canto, because it deals only with Lord Sri Krishna himself. Lord Sri Krishna. And here Shukadeva Goswami, he explains that Krishna, he had unlimited calves and cowherd boys. No one could count their number. And then now we will see the Singadev appear in our midst. Shri Shri Pradat Lakshmi Singadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. And then we come to verse 20, and we can chant all along. Eka eka gopakare yevatsa karan. Eka eka gopakare yevatsa charan. Kodi arbuda sanka patma tahara ganan. Kodi arbuda sanka patma tahara gan. Eka eka gopakare yevatsa charan. Kodi abuda sanka padma tahara ganan. Somebody else want to try? Kodi Abuddha Shankha Padma Tara Gana. Kaika Gopakara Yevatsa Charana. Kodi Abuddha Shankha Padmata Harakanan. Eka, one after another, Gopa, cowherd boys, Kare, do, ye, whatever, Vatsa, calves, Vatsa Sura, right? Charana, grazing, Kodi, 10 millions, Arbuddha, 100 million, Shankha, 1 trillion, Padma, 10 trillion, Tahara Ganana, the enumeration of that. And then there's the translation of this verse, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke here. Each of the cowherd boys was tending calves to the extent of a koti, Arbuddha, Shankha, and Padma. That is the way of counting. So now, you Indian folks, do you have any idea about a koti? What is a koti? What is a koti? Huh? A leg? Koti? A Buddha? Okay, I tell you, it's Srila Prabhupada, this Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He gives a purport here. He gives a purport. He tells us it's quite amazing. Okay, according to Vedic mathematical calculations, the following enumeration system is used. Units are tens, dasha, hundreds, shata, thousands, sahasra. Okay, this we maybe, tens, dasa avatar, this maybe make some standstill, sahasranam, 1,000 names. Okay, then 10,000s are yuta and 100,000s laksha. 10 times laksha, 10 times 10,000s is niyuta. 10 times niyuta is koti. 10 times koti is arbuddha. 10 times arbuddha is vrinda. 10 times vrinda is karva. 10 times karva is nikarva. 10 times nikarva is sankha. 10 times sankha is padma. And 10 times padma is sangara. 10 times sagara is antya. And 10 times antya is madhya. And 10 times madhya is parada. Each item is 10 times greater than the previous one. Thus, all the cowherd boys who were companions of Krishna had many calves to take care of. Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stabiram Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Svaparandikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadigaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we have millions of cowherd boys. And they had millions cows and calves to take care of. That's amazing, or? Can we understand this? I can't. I'm too much limited in the space what I'm using to think of in the space of our earth. Right? We have our mind is like to think in spaces, in numbers, and how these numbers fit into spaces. When we hear, for example, in the Mahabharata about, we heard on, was it Wednesday? When we had about Paramahamsa Gore, he told us about the Akshrini, or the different divisions, how many soldiers were in one Akshrini, in how this great Maharathis, and how they all were explained, how they can fight a different number of soldiers, of foot soldiers, or chariots, or horsemen soldiers, or elephant fighters, right? So they were all Maharathis, right? They could, I think, fight with 10,000 soldiers at the same time, right? And that's so when we try to put this in our head, or at least my head, first of all, think, if we had so many Akshuhinis of soldiers, who cooks for them? They must eat something, right? They must eat something when they come back from the battle. I mean, Kurukshetra war was how long? 18 days, right? So for 18 days, you have to bring something on the table for all these soldiers, right? They have to be fed, right? They have to wash themselves probably after the battle, and they wanna rest also. So you had plenty of tents and facilities to take care of them. So that's already astonishing. There are many people that tried to go to Russia. For example, Napoleon, that tried to march from Paris to Russia. When he reached Moscow, he hardly had anything, because he could not supply this army with all necessary things. From Paris, bring all the weapons, bring all the food, bring everything to Moscow. Therefore, on the way, they raided. They came to so many different farms, and they slaughtered the animals. They took all the crops to just feed the army, because the army is supposed to fight. So if your fighters don't, if they're not inspired, if you don't feed them, then why should they fight for you, right? So that was the problem. Some 100 years later, Adolf Hitler tried to go make the same journey, but not from Paris, from Berlin. And he had the same problem. Basically, he came to Russia then in the wintertime. Was even more difficult, because he needed petrol, he needed tanks, and so many other stuff. Not possible. So the soldiers in the wintertime, they starved to death, or they frozen. They freezed. Right? Very difficult. So now we hear of this, in Mahabharata, about all the fighters. And now we hear that Krishna, he has so many friends who help him tending so many cows. How should they all eat? The biggest cattle I saw was in Vasana, and they had a Goshala there with 18,000 cows. 18,000. That was amazing. And one day my service was to pet these cows. 18,000 cows. I don't know how many actually I petted, but maybe I think 18. But they were all cows all around me. Everywhere, cows everywhere. And this was only 18,000, right? And they had hardly anything to eat. They didn't eat grass. They ate some kind of, I don't know, was kind of a, some stew or something like something what they mixed with water, and then the cows ate this. So put 18,000 cows on a meadow somewhere. That must be a big meadow, right? That they have something to eat. And cows like to eat a lot. Basically, they're eating the whole day, right? And so, when we think of this, then we think it's impossible, right? And there where the people come who has a little bit doubtful mind, a little bit agnostics, they come and say, that's all made up stories. That's not true. right? So, and sometimes even we think, yeah, maybe, how can this happen? But this is because we try to put a spiritual understanding or spiritual world in our material concept. And this is the difficulty, what we always face on. We are actually spiritual souls, but we trapped in material consciousness. And this material consciousness comes with our material body. And we all identify with that body because this body is so nice. Oh? So nice to have a body, especially when you're younger. What, Charu? You like to have a body? It's cool, or? You can do so many things with a body, especially when the body is young and elastic and full of energy, can run the whole day. Yeah, and then you can explore with that body, that material world. Your senses, find all the different sense objects. And then you can connect your senses with the sense objects. And wow, that's enjoyment. That's life. And that's Western life. Western life teaches us how to enjoy your senses, how to enjoy your mind, and how to enjoy your senses connected to that mind. And this is what we bring the world. That's our gift for all of you. Now, India, you also have big shopping malls, right? Very clean, very pucker. Nobody goes anymore to the little stall on the side. We go to, how do you call? You have a special name? Here they call Rewe or Kaufland, or how do you call it in India? Huh? Local store? Was? Dukan. What is the biggest store in India? Huh? You don't go there. You're very good. You go only to German stores. Wie? Big Bazaar. In Delhi or Mumbai? Everywhere. Very good. Yeah. And that's all about sense enjoyment. And every day new sense enjoyment and more sense enjoyment. Right? You can buy so many things in one go. Like Coca-Cola in such big Coca-Cola bottles. Right? You drink 10 days of it. Because who can drink so much Coca-Cola? We don't drink it anyway. But after 10 days, it has no taste anymore. Just tastes like coal or something. But you can buy it. Because if you want, you can drink 10 liters of Coca-Cola in one go. Or maybe 50 ready-made chapatis. You just put in microwave, popped up nicely. You have this? No. You make chapati yourself. Yeah, right. So, but that's all what it's all about. And we think if we want to be sophisticated nation, like Europe or US, we have to develop their lifestyle. Now we see in Europe people, they start to look after India. Right? How is that? Whitest people are why they look after India. We come to Europe to have such a lifestyle like Europeans. I have my wife, she is from England. And then in England you see so many Indians, they're living like a Western lifestyle. But after so much enjoyment, so many people, they're looking around and think, what is the real sense of life? And they come to the same point as Maharaj Parikshit was here when he asked these questions in the end of his life. What is the purpose of life? And this is where we all got stuck. And then we got a book book of his Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And all of us, this Indian man, this in bodily size, small Indian man, changed our lives. And he was an old Indian man. It was not some young rock star who changed our life. What do you think? Prabhupada from which part of India? Huh? Kolkata. Bro, you know, when Prabhupada came, you don't know the story of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada? You should find out. You should find out. And then you will understand that an old, sincere man has something to give to the world. He can change the world. What do you think of that? How old is your body now? How old is your body? Sorry, then I'm cross-eyeing. Not your body, I mean gentleman body. Yes. What's your age? 75. Very good. That was the time when Prabhupada went to made a travel to America with nothing. Nothing, just a set of books, Srimad Bhagavatam, translated in English. And he was completely alone. Sit there in New York. You ever were in New York? You went to Munich? No. No. Okay, you should go to Munich tomorrow. Okay. And then if you take Munich times 10. You were in New York? I was also not in New York. Somebody was in New York? You were in New York. You were in Munich as well? Oh, okay. So, okay, let's say Munich times 10 is New York. Meaning everything is there. Everything is there. And nobody is there. Because when you have so many people in the Western world, although they live so close together, nobody knows each other. And there Prabhupada went as an Indian sadhu, dressed like an Indian gentleman, Indian sadhu, right? And for one whole year, nothing happened. Nobody recognized, because in New York, you can look as you want to be. Nobody cares. That's the land of the free. It's America. You can dress whatever you like. Nobody cares. But then some US young people, some hippies, how they called it in this time, they thought, what is this man? You know, India is quite interesting. He maybe knows something. He looks like an Indian gentleman. So they asked him. And he started to explain his old philosophy. And this is how the Hare Krishna movement starts. Right? So that's our tradition, basically. So we follow an old Indian man. You think that's good? It's quite good, huh? But we didn't follow because he was an Indian man, because he had to say, his teachings actually had so much meaning for us, because this gave a meaning to our life. And therefore we changed our lives, and we ended up with this philosophy where some think that's Indian philosophy. But actually it's not. It's Sanat-dharma philosophy. It's universal philosophy. And about universal philosophy, we don't have to argue about, because it's truth. It's like mathematics. You know, if you have 2 apples and another 2 apples, how many apples do you have, Charu? 4 apples, yes. And you can apply this in an Arabic bazaar in Damascus. 2 apples and 2 apples, 4 apples. You go to Jerusalem, you have 2 apples and 2 apples, 4 apples. You go to Moscow. Somebody was in Moscow? Some Russians here? No. 2 apples, 2 Russian apples, another 2 Russian apples, 4 apples. You have in Moscow, you have 2 Russian apples and 2 American apples. How many apples? 4 apples, no matter where they're coming from, right? And the same is about Sanatana Dharma. It's everywhere. It's like the universal principle written down in this device known as material universe. Each device, each how to say, technical device, and the universe is like a big, huge device, has to have a software inside, otherwise it doesn't function. So Sanatana Dharma and everything what is around it is this programming language of the universe. Therefore, you Indians so good at programming. Therefore, you want it all over the world because you know how to program a device, right? Because a Devanagari is so close to you, so close to it. So this is the big challenge. Now, when we understand this whole philosophy, one thing is there for us to understand more, as we ended up in a human form of life. We're all humans. We're all in a human body. And what is specific or special on a human body? What do you think? Huh? Well, yeah, but the animals don't have. Because they don't have Atma. Understanding my mind. Okay, some other thoughts about this? Consciousness. But does it mean animals don't have a consciousness? Well, there were some, just recently the Catholic Church, they admitted that animals also have a soul. Even women have a soul. They admit it. Ability to question, okay, a question about what? Okay, the purpose of life. Okay, and what ability gives this to us if we ask this question? Search, okay. Search, but in what dimension we search? What is right or wrong? Right? And so we can make decisions. We can make conscious decisions. Based on what? Based realizations, yeah, but our realizations based on what? On our intellect, yeah, but our intellect is based on what? Huh? Our experience based on what? Okay, time, but who fills our time? Okay. We get our intellect, our experience, whatever you mentioned, from that what surrounds us. Where we take our teachings from. We downloading all our knowledge, everything what we use to discriminate, we download ourselves. This we have to understand. We have to have this responsibility that we discriminate from where do we download informations. And if we don't do that, the information will come automatically, like a virus. Right? This information will come into our in our hard drive anyway, by so many things, so many people try to influence us, try to tell us what's right and wrong. Choro, are you okay? Telling us what's right and wrong. And according to this, we make our judgments. So this tells us something very important. We must have the discrimination from where we take our informations. And when we make this, we have to understand why certain information sources want to give us this information. What is their aim? So now, what do you think? What is good source of information? What you would say? CNN. Huh? Unbiased info. What do you mean by that? You're not taking sides? Well, that's quite difficult, the not taking sides in the beginning when you don't know where this information is coming from. So, but whom would you trust? Let's put like this. To whom you put your trust? Who you know very well, and this brings you in what kind of position or understanding? How you know somebody very well? You see them, you observe somebody, right? And then when you see what you see, you think that's good. I want to be like that person, right? And then you ask this person, please, can you tell me, can you teach me your secret? Or can you tell me your informations, your input, and give this to me? I want to have the same. I want to have the same software. Sometimes, we see somebody has on his phone, oh, what app you have there? Well, that's a useful app. I want to also download this app. To which app store you go to download this app, right? Or can you send me this app? So in the same way, if somebody impresses us by his way of life, in his way of thinking, his way of acting, his way of understanding and explaining life or the universe, then we are impressed and think, I want to live the same life like him. For example, because this person is in his life not so much bothered with different influences. This person is maybe not so easily angry. He's maybe not so easily bewildered. He's not so easily be cheated on, because he has higher knowledge. He has higher understanding. So it means this person has to have his information from a higher source, right? And therefore, jump to conclusions to make it a little bit shorter. Therefore, we basically, as humans, we have to have the duty to look for persons who can guide us into higher knowledge and make us familiar with the eternal truth about the spiritual nature of our existence. Because when we understand the spiritual nature of our existence, then we can also understand the material nature of our existence. When I understand how software works, I can create a suitable device for my needs, right? But first of all, I have to understand the software, right? So that's our aim, that we say, we want to understand human life. We want to understand what's the purpose of human life. And in this way, we're looking out for people who can guide us. And we, as our Westerners, we find our very perfect guide in the life of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And therefore, we follow his teachings and his scriptures. And he took his inspiration directly by the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I guess that's not at all what I wanted to say, or what is there to say. There's so many things to say about this whole subject matter, but as we are running out of time, and I wanted to make it somehow or other accessible for all our guests as well, and maybe something to take away. So I gave this little discourse maybe around our philosophy and our main points of our understanding, although not even touched it really. There's so much more to say. So I try to imply this philosophy and this lifestyle and these teachings in my life with my family. And I'm still a trainee. I still have to learn so much more stuff, so much understanding about the philosophy. and the lifestyle, but the thing what I need the most is the association of well-wishing people who give me the blessings that I can somehow or other understand the value of my life. So therefore I'm asking you, please give me your blessings that one day I can become a useful human and really serve mankind in this way, serve God. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Are there any questions or maybe comments or something what is not clear, or you want to add something? Sanjay Prabhu. Mikrofon, Joe, kannst du das Mikrofon geben?
Yeah. One thought came to my mind on this very last point is that I read one purport by Srila Prabhupada a day ago or so, that where he strongly stresses that in material knowledge it depends on your own learning things and applying things, but in spiritual realization actually basically said it only depends on the blessing of some spiritual authority. So I found that interesting. And I also have one question, which is that the question came to my mind that it says the human form of life is meant for truth. It's meant for finding out truth, deeper meaning. Is it that any person who gets the human form of life is empowered for, for a progressive realization of truth, or is it that some people, they're so much caged in by materialism and a sense gratificatory of life that they never have a chance to step out of it? What is your understanding of this?
Yes, it's basically our first birth. When we take birth from our mother, it's like an animal birth. And, we have these different stages of consciousness, anamoy, pranamoy, kyanamoy, it's different stages. And most people, they don't go over this level of anamoy, meaning the consciousness of where is food, where is food, where is food. As we say this, the 3 pillars of life, or the 4 pillars of life is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Right? This is what every organism is doing. Try to eat something. Try to has to rest, has to defend himself, and of course want to also continue his species. Therefore, he procreates. So most people are in this stage, and they don't know about the ability what they have as humans. If you have a functioning society, as we basically see from the Varnashram Dham, each and every section has the ability to serve, has a different service to render to human society. And the Brahminical culture actually is, or the Brahminical class is actually therefore to lift up human society, to give them the understanding and lift them out of this anamoy platform to at least kyanamoy platform, that they understand, okay, human life is not just for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. It's for questioning why I'm here and to understand what's the purpose of human life. That's actually the qualifications what brahmanas should have, what they should do, teachers of society. And they should not, it's not something where you can enjoy, oh, I'm brahmana or something like that. No, all the stages of life, or all the orders of life of society, they offer service. They serve each other. If we don't understand this, then we think we enjoy each other. And then that's the way of ruination. Human life is a way of service, serving. We have to give. That's a human. A human takes care of other humans. A human takes care of animals. Everybody who's under him, he takes care. He doesn't exploit them. He takes care. That's a human being. as in the Bible said, the God put us here as gardeners in this garden. So what a gardener is doing, he takes care, he nourishes, he brings more out. You give him one seed, he creates many seeds from them. Now you put one potato in the earth, you take out 10 potatoes out of this one. Something like that. So therefore, we have this ability in us. But if there's no Brahminical class, no actually teaching class who tells about such subject matters, we always stay on this Annamoy platform. And in one sense, to regulate society, it's much more easier if you have dumb animals around, not humans, animals. You sit them in front of a television, like putting a cow in a little box with some food in front, and just milk her. This is what humans nowadays are for. Front of television, Amazon brings every sense gratification you can imagine, and in the end, they're milking you again. Whatever cash you create or whatever money you create, they suck away. They find a way to suck it away. The system is meant like that. So, but actually, higher principle is to get out of this understanding and be responsible, be able to respond to the human life, meaning be proactive, taking care. So, and this we have to learn. Therefore, we have to know the scriptures, and therefore, that's the thing why Srila Prabhupada came, to give back this understanding that we are meant for something higher. We meant to bring spirit back in human society, right? And therefore, all these books are there, and we distributing these books, distributing this knowledge, and try to bring people in contact with this knowledge, to make them think, hey, why are you here? What's your aim of life? Because we all forgetting, even if we come out of India and we grew up with Bhagavad Gita. Most of us don't know Bhagavad Gita. Really, what does it mean? Right? Where Arjuna stands for, what is the teaching out of it? We don't understand this, and therefore we have to have people around us who wake us up and give us the wake-up call, and then this ability immediately will be reinstalled. Every human has this ability inside. It's like the ability in a baby to walk. It's there, but it has to be awakened. Some people, they come by their own, by observation. They're seeing something is not right, and they start searching by themselves. And some people, they are get a push. Sometimes they get a push by, by destiny. Something happened, somebody dies in your family or something like that. What makes you think why we have to suffer or something like that? Or some people, they just get in contact with this knowledge. They get a connection. They get the application in form of a book. And, then you have it on your device. You put it in your brain. You put it in the akash of your brain, and then you have download this information to your brain. Suddenly, Bhagavad Gita is not just some book, some conversation of two warriors. Actually, this what they're telling, it's quite profound. It's actually very, very deep, and you can see it from so many different levels. This conversation teaches you so many different things. But you have to look into it, and you need sometimes somebody who explain it to you. Why Krishna is saying this? Why Arjuna asking exactly that question on this particular point? It's such an amazing conversation. It's breathtaking. But we have to go into it. We just cannot think, it's just some story book. No, it works on different levels. It works on different dimensions. And what we are able to reach, which dimension we reach, we will get different informations from the same book. it answer somehow your question? Or? Sorry. And the other thing, what you said, what was the first? I had a thought on your first thought.
It's okay. Material, to learn something materially, it depends on ourselves, but spiritually actually depends practically only on us.
Yeah, you can. I mean, matter, we can learn so many things. I can get a book in any library and learn about making a heart surgery. I can learn this from books, but I need the teachings of a living master, of a living surgeon, who is a master, who is, if you want to learn this, you go somebody who mastered it. You go to a heart surgeon, was with Akila, who cut his knee, he was a master of, and he goes in pension now. But everybody, Jagadishta, go to him, he's a master of his field. So you want to learn from a master of his field, but even then, he can show you everything. But if you don't get in the end the blessings, and blessings has to do something with love, right? There has to be some trigger of love in between, that this person gives you blessings. And love is the core of all existence. The core of the existence between Radha and Krishna is love. And this is what we try to enhance. Okay, sure. Ciao.
Or material things that we are understanding is going to leave you at some point of time in this world, and you have to let go of it. But the spiritual feeling or understanding, it will stay with you, it will make you more higher, and that will be with you till the end.
Yeah. In the previous age, maybe you were a mid-age queen in, let's say, Paris. Right? And people had a complete different lifestyle. Whatever they did in this time, for us, when we look back in time, we visit the old castle or something, we think, wow, that's interesting, how they ate, how they did different things. For example, how they went to the toilet or whatever. It's sometimes quite strange. But this knowledge doesn't, is useless nowadays. Doesn't mean anything. So you leave it behind. But your spiritual development is never decreased. It always increases. Wherever level you reach, the next life, you will start from this level again. And your karma and Krishna's arrangement put you in situations, bring you together with different people who can take you from this point and guide you forward, guide you on. And therefore we want to come out of the samsara. It's not that we one body after another body. We went to so many different bodies. Sometimes you go to a German city and think, I think I was here already, right? So that, it's obvious. We coming, and now you coming, you have an Indian body. You're born in India, So, we do all this priest stuff and all this stuff, and it's kind of familiar to us, but we are in a white body, so it's kind of strange. But this makes all sense if you apply it in a spiritual light on it. So we go from one stage to another. And sometimes to travel, we use a German car, we use a Japanese car. Huh? Yeah, and it's like a body. The body is like a vehicle. Sometimes you travel in a vehicle what was made in Japan. Sometimes maybe you travel in sumo data. Or how's it called? Sumo, Indian cars. Tata. No? Not Tata. Anyway, you get the point. Yeah, thank you for your thought. Okay, ladies. Do we have the blessings to end this class? Are you hungry? You like kitchen? No? Not hungry? with this nice khichdi there. You like khichdi? Khichdi? Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for listening, and please bless us that we can continue to serve Sri Palad Lakshmi Shingadev and Srila Prabhupada and his family. And feel free to join the family. Hare Krishna. Get a book, get some software, download something. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.